Hey there! Are you stuck on what to serve as an appetizer at a get-together or even for dinner? Well, make these saucy meatballs. I've been making them for years and it's always a hit. Either at a party or even for dinner. I serve it over a bowl of rice. Let me show you how I make these. Lining my baking sheet. Grab your biggest baking sheet. This happens to be 15 by 9, I think, but I do know it's my largest one. I've grabbed some parchment paper, and I'm going to crumple it up and then spread it out evenly over the baking sheet. The purpose of crumpling it up is to make a rougher surface for the meatballs so it doesn't slide around as much as you're transporting the baking sheet into the oven when you're done with your meatballs. So now I'll start on the meatballs. In this bowl, medium-sized bowl, I have 2 eggs. I have 1 teaspoon of horseradish, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper. And I will whisk that really well to make sure the egg is all broken up. Because after this is whisked, I'm going to add the meat, which is 750 grams of lean ground beef and 250 grams of ground pork. Okay, that's nicely mixed. Whisk. Now I'm going to add my meat. I'm just going to crumble it over. Makes a lot of meatballs. Great for if you're having a party or for your family. If you have a small family, even better. They will have leftovers. You can even make this ahead of time if you're having a party and freeze it. So let's get that mixed up a bit. Get it incorporated with that wet stuff. Now I'm going to add in, sprinkle over half a cup of fine breadcrumbs. Spread that out as much as possible, and then just combine this really well with a fork or your hands. You don't want to overmix this. And then once this is all nice and combined, we're going to start making our meatball. And at this point, I will preheat my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit as I make the meatballs. So I think this is well combined. All the wet stuff on the bottom is gone and dissipated throughout the meat. So now I'm going to start making a meatball about 1 inch, about that size, probably about just a tablespoon or under, and I will place it on the baking sheet. Now when you form these balls and put it on your baking sheet, you want to leave some space in between. You don't want it to be touching. If you do, they won't cook in there and that could get raw. So I'll be back in a little while as I form these meatballs and wait for my oven to preheat. Meatballs are formed, my oven's preheated, and I've got close to 100. I lost count after 80, but you may just make 80. It depends on the size that you make. But the most important thing is to keep them uniform in size. You don't want the bigger meatballs undercooked while the rest are overcooked. So in the oven they go for 10 to 12 minutes, and I'm going to turn them at the halfway mark. I'm going to get started on the sauce for the meatballs. So I've got a big high-wall skillet, and I'm going to add 1 onion finely chopped, and in here I have also got 2 cloves of garlic that I've sliced. I'm just going to add everything into the pot. And in this bowl I have a half cup of grape jelly, half cup of ketchup, and a half cup of chili sauce. Now it's not the hot chili sauce, it's like the mild chili sauce you can find in the condiments aisle. If you don't have that, or you don't want to buy a bottle just for this specific recipe, you can use a shrimp cocktail sauce if you have it. And next I will add half cup of water. Next is a 1/4 cup oops, that splashed me. Oops. Quarter cup of brown sugar and a quarter cup of apple cider vinegar and a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce and 1 teaspoon of Tabasco sauce. I'm going to turn the heat up on this and bring that to a boil. And once that comes to a boil, I am going to simmer it uncovered for 5 minutes. In the meantime, my timer has gone off to indicate my meatballs are done. After I've turned them once, I put them back in for another 6 minutes. So total of 12 minutes. Again, it depends on the size that you made your meatballs. These are pretty small, so they don't take much time at all. So there we go. Alright, so I'm now adding the meatballs to the sauce. And as I did this, I laid out some paper towels and just pressed it gently onto it to absorb most of the grease that oozed out of the meatballs as they were cooking. Now I'll just give this a stir and it is done. This is so good. Adults and kids like it. It's not too hot. It's not too spicy. Even with the Tabasco sauce, or you can omit the Tabasco sauce. So there you have it. It is really, 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 really good. I love it. Hope you make this. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.